The conference chamber aboard the Galactic Council station hummed with the usual bureaucratic efficiency when Elsa Chen walked through the airlock. Her boots, standard Earth military issue, clicked against the crystalline floor with a rhythm that made the assembled delegates shift uncomfortably in their biosuits. She was human. That much was obvious. What wasn't obvious to the 47 species present was why Earth had sent a single officer instead of their usual diplomatic entourage. Leo Martinez followed 3 steps behind, carrying a single silver case. His eyes, dark and unreadable, swept across the chamber with the practiced assessment of someone who'd seen too many battlefields. Representative Chen, Ambassador Kilrathi of the Concordat, wheezed through his translator. His scaled face attempted what his species considered a welcoming expression. "We were expecting Chancellor Morrison. Where is your delegation?" Elsa stopped at the center podium. She didn't bow, didn't offer the traditional greeting gestures. She simply stood there, and somehow that silence filled the massive chamber more completely than any speech. "Chancellor Morrison is dead," she said flatly. "So are 400,000 colonists on New Brisbane. Men, women, children. The Kryn Collective made certain of that when they glassed the entire colony from orbit." The chamber erupted. Delegates chittered, whistled, and vocalized in a dozen languages. The Kryn representative, a towering insectoid named Zektar, remained perfectly still, mandibles barely twitching. "The colony was warned," Zektar clicked, translator converting his chemical signals to galactic standard. "They refused to evacuate disputed territory. The Concordat rules were clear. There were children in the hospitals." Leo spoke for the first time, his voice carrying despite its quietness. He opened the silver case. "We brought evidence. Medical records. School registrations. DNA samples we managed to recover from the ash." "This is hardly unprecedented," a Velnari delegate interjected, her crystalline body refracting light in agitated patterns. "Border disputes result in casualties. It is regrettable, but the Kryn followed protocols. They issued warnings according to Concordat law, 3 cycles as required." Elsa smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. 72 hours, she said. "You gave families 72 hours to abandon homes they'd built over 3 generations, to leave behind everything. And when the evacuation ships couldn't handle the capacity, when people were still boarding, you opened fire anyway." "Protocols are protocols," Zektar responded. "Your species accepted Concordat membership. You agreed to abide by civilized rules of engagement." "Civilized," Elsa repeated, tasting the word like poison. "Yes, we've been very civilized, haven't we? When the Velnari annexed the Ross system, we filed diplomatic protests. When the Thoraxian hives claimed mineral rights to our asteroid colonies, we negotiated. When you..." She pointed directly at the Kryn delegate. "Enslaved human colonists on the frontier 3 years ago. We went through proper channels. Arbitration, mediation, we were civilized." She walked slowly around the podium, and something in her movement made delegates shrink back. "Humanity has a saying," Leo added, voice still quiet. "Speak softly and carry a big stick." We've been speaking softly for 23 years. Since first contact, we wanted to be part of the galactic community. We wanted to prove we weren't the barbarians you all believed we were. "And you have proven this," Ambassador Kilrathi said quickly. "Diplomatic instincts sensing danger. Earth has been a model member." "New Brisbane was the stick," Elsa interrupted. She reached into her jacket and placed a small holographic projector on the podium. It activated, showing a blue-green planet rotating peacefully. "This is Kryn Prime. Population 14 billion. The Kryn delegates' mandibles clacked sharply. "What is the meaning of this?" "This," Elsa continued, changing the image to show massive warships emerging from Earth's orbital shipyards, "is the Terran Defense Fleet. All of it. Every ship. Every weapon. Every soldier. We've recalled them all." The conference chamber fell absolutely silent. "You cannot mean..." the Velnari began. "We're withdrawing from the Concordat," Leo said simply. "Effective immediately. All treaties, all trade agreements, all diplomatic relationships canceled. You can't survive without Concordat protection," another delegate shouted. "The neutral zones, the trade routes, we'll manage," Elsa said coldly. "Humanity is remarkably good at surviving. We've done it through ice ages, plagues, world wars, and nuclear standoffs. We'll do it again. This is madness." Kilrathi's scales flushed purple with agitation. One colony, tragic as it was, 400,000 people, Elsa said, and her voice dropped to something almost casual, which somehow made it more terrifying. We know you think we're weak, too emotional, too attached to individual lives. You've built your civilizations on acceptable losses and calculated sacrifices. She leaned forward. But here's what you've forgotten about humans. We remember. Every name, every face, every child who died screaming when your warships turned the atmosphere to plasma. And we don't forgive. Leo closed the silver case with a soft click. Earth's message to the Concordat is simple. New Brisbane was the last time you treat human lives as acceptable collateral. The last time you hide behind protocols while committing atrocities. The last time we play by rules written by species who've forgotten what it means to fight for survival. What are you saying? Zektar's voice carried genuine concern for the first time. Elsa straightened, and when she spoke, it was with absolute certainty. We're saying that humanity tried civilization. We tried diplomacy. We tried being the better species. She paused. Now we stopped being civilized. The hologram shifted one final time, showing fleet movements, weapon signatures, and targeting coordinates that made several delegates gasp. You have 30 days to evacuate any human populations under your control, Leo stated. After that, we consider them hostages, and we don't negotiate with hostage takers. This is a declaration of war, the Velnari shrieked. No, Elsa corrected, already turning toward the airlock. This is a promise. Touch humanity again, and you'll discover why we conquered our own planet before we even reached the stars. You'll learn why every predator in Earth's history either learned to fear humans or went extinct. As they reached the exit, Leo looked back one final time. The Concordat taught us your rules of civilized warfare. Now let us teach you ours. We call it total war, and humans wrote that particular manual 10,000 years ago. The airlock sealed behind them with a hiss of equalizing pressure. In the conference chamber, 47 species sat in stunned silence, finally understanding that they'd awakened something humanity had worked very hard to keep sleeping. Civilization, they were about to learn, was just a word for the leash humanity had chosen to wear. Now the leash was off.